Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to this special edition of the Speculative Sundays Poetry Reading Series for Black Poetry Day. I was going to say we are live on Facebook via Zoom. We're not, we're live via Zoom. Facebook did not allow us to connect. So if you've got friends who are disappointed, tell them that shortly, in a day or so after this event, I will post the recording in the Speculative Sundays Reading Series YouTube channel. Thank you all for being here. I am Akua Lezli Hope, speaking to you from the ancestral land of the Onondaga, also known as the Seneca, keepers of the Western Door in the southern Finger Lakes region of New York State. I pay homage to the Seneca, past, present, and future, as I do to my own ancestors, by whose grace I exist and am sustained. The series is made possible in part by poets and writers with public funds from the New York State Council on the Arts. This year, the statewide Community Regrant program, a regrant program of the New York State Council on the Arts, with support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature, administered by the Arts Council of the Southern Finger Lakes, enables us to be here. Thank you. Inaugurated in 2020, the Speculative Sundays Poetry Reading Series seeks to remediate the paucity of speculative poetry by its living creators. Now in its sixth year, the Speculative Sundays Reading Series has presented 47 hour-long events, including 60 poet readings. This reading is being recorded, so if you have concerns, turn off your video, remove your image. I'm joined by poets Owolabi Aboyade, Cherise Francis, and Pop A. Mystery Soul Sax, who I'll introduce more extensively later. Let me pause to let some folks in. Established in 1970, did you know that? Black Poetry Day celebrates the advent of poetry by Black poets in America with the birth of Jupiter Hammon, America's first published Black poet, born on October 17th, this day, in 1711 at the Lloyd Manor on Long Island. 314 years ago in Queens Village, because that's where the Lloyd Manor was, Jupiter Hammon served 3 generations of the Lloyd family, his enslavers. Long Island, Queens, was a hub of the Atlantic slave trade with one of the largest enslaved populations in the North during the 17th and 18th centuries. Shock to me, the North, the slavery, the chain of events that brings us to this fraught, imperiled, democracy-quaking moment begins with colonial America's enslavement of Africans for free labor. Jupiter Hammon composed his first published work, an 88-line poem entitled an evening thought, salvation by Christ with penitential cries on Christmas Day 1760. In 2013, let's jump forward, an unpublished work of Jupiter Hammon's was discovered, entitled An Essay on Slavery. It was written about the same time as his most famous Address to the Negroes of New York State. While most of his poems convey a subtle resistance to slavery, in this newly discovered poem, he defines slavery as a sin for the first time and defies the idea that you can have slavery and be Christian at the same time. It is possible that Jupiter Hammon was concerned with maintaining his rapport with his readers and the Lloyd family, and so decided not to publish this potentially inflammatory poem. The poem begins with a direct reference to the middle passage and offers the comforts of Christianity amidst the toil and oppression of slavery. It's pretty long, but I'm going to read you some excerpts from it. An essay on slavery with justification to divine providence, that God rules over all things. That's the title. Okay, here are some excerpts. 1. Our forefathers came from Africa, tossed over the raging main, to a Christian shore, therefore to stay, and not return again. 2. Dark and dismal was the day when slavery began. All humble thoughts were put away. Then slaves were made by man. 4. Come, let us join with one consent, with humble hearts, and say, for every sin we must repent and walk in wisdom's way. 6. Come, blessed Jesus, in thy love, and hear thy children cry, and send them smiles now from above, and grant them liberty. The same year he wrote this poem, 1786, at the age of 76, Jupiter Hammon attended the inaugural meeting in New York City of the African Society, presenting his fairly well-known address to Negroes of the state of New York. Let's pause for a moment. Maybe you're not surprised. My heart goes boom to boom to boom to know that in 1786 in New York City, there was an African Society meeting and the poet presenting in 1786. Listen, folks, this is our long tradition. All praises to the ancestors. All praises. 1786. A decade after what? That other famous number, 1776, a decade after. Anyway, he shared the disappointment that the birth of the new nation had not abolished slavery. Though Jupiter Hammon was a privileged slave with the Lloyd family, he was still enslaved. He said, if we, quote, if we should ever get to heaven, we shall find no body to reproach us for being Black or for being slaves. He stressed that African Americans should maintain high moral standards since, quote, being slaves on earth had already secured their place in heaven, unquote. Jupiter Hammon died in 1806 at the glorious age of 95. He was buried in an unmarked grave. Bless you, Jupiter Hammon. Thank you, Jupiter Hammon. All praises. Our first poet reading this evening, in commemoration, in honor, in celebration, is Owolabi Aboyade, a multi-dimensional ancestral African culture creator from Detroit. His craft is healing from the intergenerational trauma of having to hide his creative spiritual power to survive. He's a poet, essayist, critic, hip-hop artist, Will C., with 6 albums under his belt. All praises. His work's been recognized by the Odd Contest and the Science Fiction Poetry Association and anthologized in Non Bono, Anthology of Speculative Poetry by BIPOC creators from around the world, edited by yours truly. He is a regular contributor to Riverwise G's Therapeutic Edgelands and Against the Current magazines. His poetry chapbook, and he's online elsewhere reading a bit from it, deeply moving. Young Lee, was published by Awe Society Press in the eventful summer of 2024. And this year, praises, congratulations, he earned his MFA from Pacific University as a Kwame Dawes Mapmaker Fellow. Owolabi Aboyade.
Thank you so much, Akua. Thank you so much, everybody that's here. Thank you to the ancestors. Thank you to Jupiter Hammon for setting a tone for us. I noticed in getting ready for this that a lot of my poems, a lot of what I'm reading has to do with time travel. We'll be in the past, the present, and the future, and moving and interacting and loosening whatever bonds we think keep us put in place in time. The first poem, The Empress, the Ghetto, the Mutants. The Empress saw me in her crystal ball, knew the stories I'd write would tell you of collapse, the shrieking, crashing on heads from up high towers, the men who lost big jobs and snapped their own necks. She looked into the so-called light, but didn't see my kin scuttling tight among the runoff, the rainwater, jagged ruins. Our houses had scorch marks. Our metaphors had bruises. Our sewers were evicted, and thus they stank. Wholly dank like corpses of our cousins killed by banks' punishment. Our children held anxiety and could pronounce all the shades of their own emotions, colors we had laid down when our folks beat us before the enemy could slap his or her stripes on our skin. Then Lee asked Dad, "Do you ever have dreams at night of a gray piercing blue eye elevated above our little green house like a scarred star in the sky, blinking twice, asking for light to descend and save the humans?" "The what?" I replied, as I smiled inside and on the outside, our side, outside, dapped his skin. Our fists slide together, palms drum into each other. Every stream that flows at night, hungry underbellies resonant, growls beneath cement, into a larger river. impressed how we survive shit together. My next poem has a little bit of time travel also, The Last King, which was written after Jennifer Elise Forster. It's in 3 parts. 1. 3 days before the fire, a visitor, robed with 3 red stripes, is watering the old fool's vegetables. The swamp moans. He sings while he walks. I am sleeping in a shack built with our bones when the man opens the bruised wood to enter. One day these will be, he says. We listen and follow his finger as he points. Willow trees bow their heads, bend their necks. The children stitch silence beneath their games. The next morning from the blood-soaked fields, I hear a song in the call of mockingbird. Black and say it. Why? They not like us loud with anticipation. 2. Thus, with my kin imagination, born to a nameless shack, I washed its funky flesh. Everyone in the plantation heard something leap, blackened feet from the soil. They are feasting on friction, fried chicken, spirits. I have no dancing shoes for the massacres. The old fool sweats and twitches in dream. The band measures the length of our thighs. These family, greedy for private dances, flex their fingers to squeeze young eagles, spread wings, pinned to the chalky sky. In the shadowy, dense muck, humidity covers all. Drifting dragons sway and pray. But I, as stars speak freedom mutely, I light my hair, my scalp a torch. The sun, eclipsed by dark imagination, ushers our rage. Now, our servant, our accomplice, the day finally rises, like bright fingers reaching for a throat. 3. Fully awoke, we find ourselves in the last kingdom. The kitchen pops and explodes, Auntie's skin when branded. The library was prohibited, luminous, 1,000 educated blazes, my mother's eyes when they pulled little me away. Here, I've seen angels, orange and translucent, spill upwards towards hell, which has become divine. Hallelujah, we hear, heaven, the old fool burning in his bed. I could almost sing forever to the beat that red guest thumped into our frozen bones. But a workforce of flame doesn't stand still forever. And the Mississippi morning, like a pack of dogs, roars our way. We slip against the swamp, dank imagination, our future, burnt and born. What's next? Oh, this one. It's interesting hearing about Jupiter Hammon. I feel like some of the energy of Jupiter Hammon with this last poem and this new poem talking about his criticism of Christianity regarding slavery. I have a series. I won't even say I have a series. Right now I have 2 poems, but one day it'll be a series. It'll grow up and be a series called Today's Testament. And I look at the Bible in light of the hypocrisy of what is called Christianity in many American places, and I kind of revise and speculate on this new Bible. This one is called When Jesus Purified the Temple. Class, stand up and put your hands on your heart. We will listen to the official scream of crypto, excuse me. We will listen to the official stream of Crypto Johnny, the 4th and final gospel of mysterious wealth. Verse 13. When it was almost time for the chosen people's holiday, Jesus went down to Los Angeles. 14. In the church lobby, he discovered people who smelled like cattle, sheep, and pigeons, and others sitting on the floor with holes in their clothing. 15. So he grabbed one of these people's dirty walking canes and drove all the derelicts from the church building. He dumped out the coins of the beggars and decimated their cans and bottles. 16. To those who held signs reading homeless, he said, "Get these out of here. Stop turning my father's temple of blessings into a shelter, a refugee camp, a sanctuary for layabouts." 17. His disciples remembered his parable before the troops arrived. 17. We must rescue our nation's temple from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. There are many places that they can go, and we're going to help them as much as you can help, but they will not be allowed to turn our capital into a wasteland for the world to see. 18. The far left then responded to him. What sign can you show us to prove your authority to do all this? 19. Jesus answered them. They tried to kill me and only clipped my ear. They will kill my eloquent disciple, and within 3 days, I will raise up thousands more soldiers ready for war. He pumped his trembling, pasty fist into the air. 20. The dirty, devilish, despicable leftist replied, this house of prophet has been in existence for 250 years. 20. It was created upon genocide. 20. At this point in time, Jesus interrupted them with a mighty sneer. He patriotically leapt into the air as no one has ever leapt before. While he was in the clean and crisp American July air, he committed many signs and wonder, and the people saw his performance and believed in his name. And what the fuck are you doing reading these words and not grabbing dirty immigrants off the street as your Lord and Savior has decreed? Close these books now, mask up, and respect my authority. I'll end with two shorter poems. I think they both have to do with time and time again. Time and time again. The end of tomorrow. We remember the end of tomorrow as birthplace of gods, ancients that roamed, feral galaxies scattered like witches' friends. When authorities boot knocks and steps heavy, like contagious bad luck, packs of black, curious, roaming Detroit neighborhoods, a traveling West Side family, 17 light years from one edge to the other. I opened my flesh on the threshold like cans of food, or a portal that still pulses beneath a country's porch rubble, arranged clumsy by the bluster, bombs we voted for, the last American ritual before night fires flashed, fresh flesh burned so white and flagrant. They confuse millions who tuned in, clapping and posing, thinking they'd become stars like us. Millions tune in, clapping and posing, thinking they'll become stars like us. And the last one could be a speculative love poem. Let's see if you feel it. It's called Shango to Bridget, written after Alicia Ostraker. I remember when you were someone's wife. All summer has stormed in modern America, streets crowded with people pounding drums, waving police batons, stirred up brutal winds, the thunders of black bruised bodies crashing down. Your house trembled, all the way down to its cement foundations drilled into suburban dirt, where all 4 seasons were slaves to calendar grids. I would place my urgent politics inside your carefully designed pages, then I would go home dreaming of little zines. We would call them edgelands, making meaning, Motor City, Bullet. What if time moves in circles, you wondered aloud, like women's hips, when we are allowed to dance together? Thank y'all so much for including me. This is my first speculative reading. I hope that the vibe was right, and I bring you now back to the present moment to enjoy the rest of the poets of the evening. Peace out. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Oh, making meaning, Motor City. Motor City makes meaning. You are so much a part of our modern mythology, your city and you. And yes, the speculative was lovely, as well as the way you knit it together. a possible and a now, the unrealized and the now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Praises. Thank you. Our
Ashe.
next, thank you. Our next poet, oh my goodness, Charisse Francis, she, they, describes themselves as an alchemist of the imagination, finding expression through poetry, interdisciplinary arts, here, collage, book and paper arts, sound and performance art, text art, workshop facilitation, editing, and literary curation. Her work takes inspiration from her Afro-Caribbean heritage, Barbados and Dominica, and studies in Afrofuturism and Black speculative arts, mythology, and etymology. Charisse has published 4 chapbooks: Lucy's Bone Scrolls, Variations on Settling Seedling, Recycling a Y That Rules Over My Sacred Site, and Lady Liberty Smashing Stones. Charisse edited a poetry anthology guided journal, Baby Suggs and a Purple Butterfly. Charisse won Inverted Syntax's 2024 Agri Book Prize for Poetry for Pollination, a Seminary of Self, which will be published in 2027. Charisse has received grants and awards from Queen's Council on the Arts, New York Foundation of the Arts, New York State Council of the Arts, and the Caribbean Writer. She has residencies from Works on Water, New York Aquarium, Oroco Radio, LMCC, Academy Schloss Solitude, and Sea Salted Honey in Senegal, as well as fellowships from Voodoo Knots, Baldwin for the Arts, and Anaphora Arts. Welcome, Charisse.
Thank you, Akua, and thank you all for joining tonight. And that was a wonderful reading, Owalabe, as well. So I thought I would read some of the poems that are in Pollination. Uh, Pollination is a collection inspired by my Afro-Caribbean American heritage, and the leading figure of the book is a Carnival character named Pierre Grenade from Trinidad. And Pierre Grenade is inspired by the European clowns, Piero and Harlequin, who is fused together to become Pierre Grenade. So Pierre Grenade in my collection is this shape-shifting figure who takes on different roles and is also a speller and scholar. So they're often playing with language and words throughout the poetry as well. So this first poem I'm gonna read is called Same Nobody, a Ghazal for the Jab Jab Echo of God. So the poem opens, the whole entire collection is formulated to almost be a long play. So this is scene 1. Piero steps onto the stage dressed in all white with a black skull cap and begins to dress as Bert Williams with a black top hat and black tuxedo jacket with coattails, who's also dressed as a black rooster. And I am full of nothing and pain. Who soothes my thumping, bumping brain? Nobody. Sound and image need a space to be heard, a place for a name of nobody, a medium of tracks to travel its duppy vibrations, the only claim of nobody. Coming north, you feel the icy chill of fields and streets plastered in a single layer of white. You miss a home of nowhere, branded trope I call paradise, and here you play the game of nobody. Till you arrived, you had no idea the heaviness a country could carry, the way it hooks you into fighting yourself to be made in the image of nation, pays you to join in the blame of nobody. Wearing the burnt cork on this sorrow face, it hardens and you become a nymph of distraction, and you hear no response but your own breath in its cave when you call God's name of nobody. Only see yourself in the small apertures of eyes and teeth. Where can I call I and I appear? This stage they call heaven with no memory of history or contribution, covering the shame of nobody. Yet you still seek your true face in the shadows of a persona. They forget how this tongue twists blackness, an accent, a swag, a painted skin acts for a syndication. Watch the meme of nobody. A black body boxed in by nails of eyes and ears. How long can you fight with the stick of dynamo in your mouth before the body drowns in the slurry shine called the fame of nobody? You tell yourself, I will confess in this cultured hell and beg for a dark beyond that truly listens, but who can hear blinded by the bright name, can't see themselves and see the same of nobody. And so that poem was inspired by Bert Williams. He was a Bahamian vaudeville performer who was forced to dress in blackface and mimic Black American speech. And so I start off the collection with him to highlight the complexities of having an Afro-Caribbean American identity. So the next poem I'm going to read is a complement to the poem I just read. Um, in Grenadian culture in the Caribbean, there's a Carnival character called the Jab Jab, and the Jab Jab, they cover their skin in black paint or molasses and wear a helmet with horns, and that figure is supposed to represent the enslaved Africans who resisted against slavery in the Caribbean. And so I wanted to show a contrasting figure to blackface in American history. So in this scene, I write, Piero dressed as Pulcinella now returns back to Bert's costume, but instead of a rooster, wears a horned hat and covers entire body in black. Bert's subverse, Jab Jab in America, a double golden shovel for Bert Williams, after Dihembe Jess. Felt like a boy who stands with the map of the world in colors before him and feels the wonder of the world. Claude McKay. I smear the burnt crocus into a yet. I smear the decompressed ancestry and a yet. Across my face, dripping in fabrication as across my fabrication, I appear as gesture, as a black dandy myth, an elegant jester. This where is a horned chimera god, or sacrificial bull fighting a black and white maze. I, a mungo macaroni rebel to a black and white maze, I smeared the sweet fuel of a rebel performing in my subject activity. I speak through all fronts, firing a dragon force of a myth. I am an expert at all hued fronts, like a feathery cap sneaking in lilts and rhythms into a because. I know what is behind the crafting wit of a black mask, a pauper cover to dress what is truly kin. Black mask, a spirit that can't be conquered, truly a kin style in my body, a soubise roosting in the elite's theater, dripping in fuel, dripping in the dark outcasts of refined sweet, dripping in my own refinery, me crowing awake to warn of the predation of the state, with serpent tongue, conch, drums, the din against the dis of the current godly state. So that was the two Bert Williams poems that I have. This next poem was inspired by a woman who I found out who was killed because of police brutality. And I found out that her name basically was the same as mine, except for she had an extra E in her name. So I wrote a poem that was inspired by her and her story. So to open the poem, I write, Piero, dressed as Columbine, removes all costumes and is now dressed in a blue dress as an American tragedy. Piero Grenade misspells, missing an E on the poet's name so this spooky entanglement can be written, spelling a name in a way so death passes by. I cannot search my name without her showing up. I was only an E away. It could have been me. On the Ides of March, my mind betraying itself, something my mother said, triggering me. It could have been me. Happened to be here in Southeast Queens, a moaning gal, tired of routine to maintain my sanity in a world that doesn't know how to love me, that says my mind is a threat. It could have been me, confused about authority and sirens, not believing bodies dressed in blues are my help and safety, my deliverance. Where are the real ones? It could have been me trying to flee from this enclosure of my hands, trying to find higher ground, yet pulled back down under an ocean of blue, struggling to locate my breath, my face in the valley where I've been thrown, this valley taking the shape of my body. It could have been me, casted into another lesson, another say my name in vain, another piece to rest in. I have struggled with living, and she is not anymore. Dead before arrival of hospitality, the world has never welcomed us except in calling our names as a memorial. Where are the good words for our names? A moan. So that is that poem, and I will read one more poem to end on a lighter note. This poem was inspired by sound system culture that exists in Jamaica, but there was one that was found in New York City called Bullwackies. And so it's called Bullwackies Sound System. And so I wrote a poem imagining um, the sound system as a kind of cosmic sound force. And so I open with Scene 5. Pierre and all the zanies are filled with the wacky spirit. Bullwackies, sound system. Pierre Grenade spelling with a calenda slapstick sound coming. This was not only a handsome masquerader, but also a terrific fighter, Andrew Carr. You gon' feel a heavy pulsing beat your whole body ring, 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 ringing. Where you think that sound come from? Don't know its name. Maybe from an endangered species, your body's scattered and you got to think, 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 think again, propelled in forward momentum by a heavy blow into a boomer, rah, 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 rang, ranging location, moving like a drunken sailor, like a carnival big truck, bouncing like whirling into orbit, staggering into where I land to I land. Wacky stands for the complete force. Diaspora, a symbol of a yin and yang. I trying to remember a history of the furthest point. Black out into dizzying clarity, me grating language, French, Yoruba, Spanish, Twi, English, Igbo, Badubi de beat, dis, jacked up where you thought this was recorded, Jamaica or New York. I switch allegiances to a now here, a buzzing circuitry in the body and doobie-doobie-doo, swiveling the speakers, vibrating throughout the dance floor and throwing bodies around within the beat into everywhere, where a direction and of an object is possible. What is revealed, a heavy, heavy, heavy pronunciation projecting its way onto a northern screen. They gon' feel it scratching the wicked and seeding into the ground with each movement. Wacky stands for the complete force. Well, skip a bip, a dip, a spit, a scat to the beat, hip hopping around like electricity in a cloud, dance of jumbies stomping and clapping on a ghostly track, a history of the furthest reach. All the names, jug band playing the bones or spoons or clapper or whip, deep dub, badooba de beat, a lot of legs moving. Those bodies need to improvise to land on the ground again. A dance of the break. We listen to that and pattern it into an accented beat, into thunderous special effects heard over our heads into a new direction. Deep study of clack, clickety, click, de clack, 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 clack. Wacky stands for the complete force. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo. Oh, man. Oh, woman. Oh, people. My people. You're all so wonderful. So wonderful. Thank you, Cherise Francis. A dance of the break. I trying to remember a history of the furthest point. I trying to remember. Yeah, and your spooky entanglements, your explorations, the song in all of it. You're magnificent. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And so now we round up, always up, keeping our heads to the sky, right? Pop, a mystery soul sax, was born in 1969 in Kings County Hospital, the same hospital as his mother, the esteemed poet Esther Louise. Her Geechee parents migrated to Brooklyn from South Carolina. Soul Sax's father was half Jamaican and half Cuban, also migrated to Bushwick, Brooklyn. Soul Sax grew up in Bushwick and lived there during the peak of the crack epidemic and the rise of hip hop, while he earned a BFA with honors from Cooper Union in 1992 and an MFA with honors from the Yale School of Art in 1995. Since 1991, Soul Sax has been developing an American ancestral masquerade based on the West African ancestral masquerade called Egungun. Soul Sax's masqueraders are called Soul Saint to celebrate the souls that ain't here no more, but live on because of the African cultural retentions they used to resist the European supremacist beliefs. Soul Sax's work seeks to celebrate the West and Central African cultural contributions that are often overlooked, but are deeply rooted in the African American fight for freedom. Soul Sax is a 2004 Guggenheim Fellow in Sculpture, a 2005 New York Foundation for the Arts Fellow in Sculpture, and a 2023 Brio Fellow. His work has been exhibited at the Brooklyn Museum, PS1 MoMA, and the New York Museum, among other notable venues. In 2008, he completed a public commission for the New York MTA Arts for Transit at the Halsey Street J train station in Brooklyn, in Bushwick, on the street he grew up on. Look it up. It is glorious. Welcome, Pape Mystery Soul Sax.
Thank you so much, Ms. Akua Lezli White. I'd also like to give respect to the poetry readers tonight. All of you are amazing. Thank you, Ms. Akua Lezli White, for bringing us all together. I also want to, of course, give respect to the Lenape, the Iroquois, the indigenous peoples that are manifest in this land that is native to me. And I just want to make it clear that, to me, speculation, like for the other readers, Black futurism, Black speculative thought is a speculation in both directions. We speculate about a past that can't be seen anymore, just as much as we speculate about a future that can't be seen. And much of our speculation relies on there being a continuity between the past and the future that expresses itself in the present. I also want to give an incredible shout out to the poet that we are celebrating today. I loved the history you gave about him. The fact is that Pinkster was a very powerful holiday here in New York. There was a time in the 17 and 1800s where Africans celebrated their African traditional culture publicly and openly during Easter, and they called it Pinkster. During that time, traditions like Yoruba traditions, Congo traditions, Makan traditions were celebrated here in New York by people like the poet that we're celebrating today. My people like Mr. Akua Lezli White Hope had mentioned. I'm sorry, I forgot the Hope, Miss White. In any case, the first one is a poem that my great grandma from South Carolina used to talk to me. She used to tell me the story about her great grandfather, who was an African man bought from West Africa, specifically because of his blacksmith skills. He was brought in to be a blacksmith for 4 plantations that neighbored each other. And he was specifically brought in because he had skills with iron that no one else had. She told me about how he would go out at night and go to the various plantations he boarded on with his shop and go and sleep with the women, and how the owners would get so upset about him sleeping with their slaves without their permission that they would set dogs on him. And she told me how he would, well, in any case, this is the story as I put it to rhyme during the time when hip hop was coming up. It goes like this. My mommy's poppy was named Ogun, straight out of deep black Africa. He hit America and made it known soon. He is no slave. He struck more like a harpoon. He is a blacksmith. He worked the fire, brass, and iron. In the land of the West, they tried to use it to bind him. Little did they know, when their hounds left them, as the sirens rang them, he would catch them dogs and split them from their throat to their rectum. Then he bent down to do something that I must share with you. He went to drink the blood. And yes, it was voodoo. But the fact is that in order for anything to remain alive, it must make a sacrifice of life. This is another piece I got here. This is a haiku for Bushwick natives. Spread eagle grounded. Does justice taste the rainbow or just the brown Skittles? This is a sextina for Chango. In Yoruba, it would be called an Adura for Chango. This is a sextina for Chango. An Adura for Chango means a prayer for Chango. The name of good God Almighty to me is Chango. All roads lead to the Lord, and Chango is my road. The electricity flowing in me is how I get up and go. I'm Soul's axe, the axe that's swung by Chango's soul. I swing to the same energy that makes lightning fall. My words light minds like lightning in the dark, I'm told. At birth, I had a full head of natty hair, I'm told. It was never cut, but neatly cornrowed like Chango. The African emperor cornrow repped a mind that don't fall. Creativity woven into the mind that navigates life's road. I didn't make the road or the reasons that move my soul. I just know this is the trek where I must boldly go. In Yoruba, the word for lightning is go. Cha means to choose or capture over and over, I'm told. By now you know I got that cha-cha-cha in my soul. I chose to capture lightning over and over from Tongo. My mind body moved like a hydroplaning car on the road. Bottomless cliffs on both sides. Still, I drive like I won't fall. Chongo is the emperor that did not hang or fall. As an emperor that ruled on strategy like the game Go. That emperor's name became the name for the road. But the nature angel Chongo is far older, I'm told. The explosive flow of energy at the Big Bang was Chongo. And all of creation is on the road through Chongo's soul. There are many roads that will call your soul. Remember, on whichever road you fall, that the fact that you have the energy to go is Chongo. We are all nano machines that need electricity to go. Just like the atmosphere needs lightning, I'm told. Without lightning, life wouldn't even be on the road. We all move along our ancestral legacy. The road you walk has never been seen by another soul. Though the view is very similar, I'm told. In the end, it is on the road that we shall fall. And even when my nanomachines don't get up and go, my unique energy will still flow through the soul of Chang'o. The lightning fall, I'm told, traces the road of the soul that chose to go the path of least resistance, like my God, Chang'o. Thank y'all. This is another one. This is about the prophecy that I see in West African art, particularly in Yoruba art. All of the references I'm making here are to Benin bronzes and other sculptures that I feel were telling the future. It goes like this. My great-grands that are apparent to me apparently could see me in soul's age across the seas of centuries. My great-grands that are apparent to me apparently could see my call would be on the mic before there was a mic and before they knew my call. My great-grands that are apparent to me apparently could see the force of gravity. They called it a shoe. It is the force that pulls things into balls. They knew it's the reason why all things fall. My great-grands that are apparent to me apparently could see evolution, the force that creates living density. They knew humanity is the children of the fishes of the sea. I'll show you a Bini king sitting on a commode. It's a brass sculpture from 1,000 years ago. I'll show you a Chango priest holding a gourd shaped like a microphone that is used just like a microphone in a sculpture done when Napoleon was still on the throne. I've shown you with direct translations that prove concepts like evolution and gravitation were common knowledge in classic Yoruba civilization. My great-grands that are apparent to me apparently could see the only way to make soul's age in me come to be was to sell their children into slavery. Soul's age, with all its freedoms and technology, was made a reality by the sacrifices my great-grands apparently made for me. I salute all and thank all my soul select great-grands that are apparent to me and to me have apparently prepared me for reality and prepared reality for me. And before they even knew my call. All right, I'm not sure how I'm doing for time, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with another one. This is the alleged. African man's got a so-called mojo hand. It clinches wishes till they're issues, then presses issues till they're issued as federal law commands. The alleged African man's got a so-called game plan that makes something from nothing in order to get something into something. The alleged American sisters here got a so-called dream catcher for the night terrors and a so-called dream weave her. As a fortune tell her. The alleged African women's got the so-called money multiplying mittens that take seed money and flips it like a pussy cat multiplying kitten. The alleged African American woman's got a so-called banana belt, like Josephine, baby. Got a so-called banana belt to satiate the fiends that maintain her issues. Souls ain't just a fiend baker, but them fiends pay for them issues. American man's got a so-called American seagull feather to remind him his ego is God's ego. The alleged American's man also got a so-called quiver, American sorrows, to remind him that everyone's ego is God's ego. The alleged American people stand on Soul Sage because Soul Sage understands and cools La Raza's rage. The alleged African American people's got a shoe for a leg war. You gotta have a shoe for a leg war. It ain't Star Wars. You better hit them streets. And you have a leg war where souls wears warriors move the force like Star Wars, but it's street wars. African American people's got a feathered rainbow that is used to get all of humanity over. Andy Warhol is an alleged African American. John Brown is an alleged African American. Einstein von Zeit, the Rock of Ages, time and space itself, is an alleged African American. Soul Said, Soul's Word is an alleged solution to the tough stuff that hurts your head. But I have to say, alleged, till some see and test, fuck the scientists, we see and test, proves all what Soul said. These are some sayings for the Orisha. Eshu says, Eshu Legbara, Eshu says, no matter when you die, you will be an ancient child, and that is the nature of reality. Ogun says, no matter when you die, you are what you did, and that is the nature of reality. Ochosi says, no matter when you die, you are what you have seen, and that is the nature of reality. Chango says, no matter when you die, you survive as what you were before you were born, and that is the nature of reality. Obatwa says, no matter when you die, you were blessed with a multitude of perfect presence, and that is the nature of reality. Yemaya says, no matter when you die, you will still be her child, and that is the nature of reality. Oshun says, no matter when you die, your life will give birth to life, and that is the nature of reality. Oya says, no matter when you die, she will be the wings propelling your soul like she once fueled your body. That is the nature of reality. So how am I doing on time, Akua?
You want sonic affirmation? It's after 8, so we're going to wrap up if you have one more short piece, because I love listening to you, but we only engaged people for an hour.
All right, I'll try and go through this quickly then. This is the last one and I'm done. For all the souls in the block, souls push fire on Bushwick, so slang which burns, but it is never fully consumed, because although only the wicked burns, soul's always what's left. And soul still push, soul squad's all right. Soul spreads love the Kings County way, which is soul's language, which is all souls said, and moves in all souls' ways as soul's word, the living word, A good God Almighty, that all souls here can see, souls true from souls time, souls true from soul stone before soul Sartha, are the blessings of mere scented linen from priests that look like they got Merlin in them. This is soul space age stone, the immovable rock of ages. Oh yiggy yiggy oh yiggy yiggy ota obakoso chango olodumare me. Souls ain't march and lift the king to the promised land of the kingdom come, the inheritance of one meek soul, where souls stand hard as soul. Peep all of soul's world. All have a mix of characteristics that, with a destiny so manifest, it's etched in forehead. Whatever a soul does or says, don't turn on souls that burn, because souls burn when souls burn. Thanks.
Mm, 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 mm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Oh my gosh. I feel lifted. I feel healed. I'm grateful for all who are here with us this evening, holding this space. There is so much pain and so much possibility. And I thank you, poets, for affirming the possibility and the healing. Soul Sax, the nature of reality. Please, please, can I have that, hold that, paste it on my wall? I see Owalabi smiling. Listen, Owalabi and Sharice, you can unmute yourselves as we're saying goodbye. I am grateful to all three of you for creating this glorious tripod of ascension and spirit lifting and spell casting and healing with your words. I urge everyone to stay strong, be wise, know joy, and thank you for joining us in celebrating Black Poetry Day. Have a great, good evening, and may we all continue to evolve.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Akua Lezli Hope, White Hope, and all the other readers. Everything was amazing. I was very blessed to have you all, and thank you to the audience for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you all for the
Yes.
blessings.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Be well. Good night.